the Women Changing the World podcast, a podcast on a mission to bring you some of the most amazing women I know who are doing incredible things to generally make the world a better place. From corporate sustainability to straight up magic and everything in between, you'll meet the real life humans who are birthing the new. I'm your host, Liz Best, and I'm here to amplify the stories and voices of women who are changing the world. And welcome to another episode of the Women Changing the World podcast. I'm your host, Liz Best, and this summer we've been doing some quick hit solo episodes on the topics and questions that I talk about and receive the most. We've talked about everything from personal branding to dream clients and overwhelm and saying no. And today I'm actually bringing you the last episode of this batch, which is all about rest and actually taking a break. So if you are overdue for a proper vacation, or you're dreaming about your next one and want some calendar hacks for making it happen in a way that's going to feel good and restorative and not overwhelming, this episode is for you. Almost everyone I know is under vacationed right now. Honestly, myself very much included. I have taken some long weekends here and there. I took about a week off in July to go on a road trip. And I hate to break it to you, but I am finding that after almost 2.5 years of living in a pandemic, a week isn't cutting it. So if you are one of the many people in my world who have come to a similar conclusion and you're thinking about how to actually take a real break, I am here for it. And honestly, I think you can employ these tips and tricks, whether you are looking at booking out a long weekend, whether you're looking to book out a proper 2-week vacation where you check no email, or whether you're preparing for a full-on sabbatical. I think many of them hold true across all of these categories. So, how do you actually log off when, in many cases, I know so many of my clients and the women in my world are like a single point of failure for the work that they do. And I also know that sometimes you really do need to be out of reach. Well, here again, I'm going to walk you through 6 things that I aspire to do when I take my own next proper vacation and toward the end of the summer. And actually, again, these are things that I try to put into practice every time I take time off. So, number 1, block time on your calendar to actually write your out of office. So hold the time in advance of when you're going to log off and make it clear in your out of office if and when you will actually be checking email. So, and ideally, again, I don't like leaving this for the last minute. You totally can, but I would definitely hold time to think through what needs to go in your out of office. So for example, if you're going to list someone else as your point of contact while you're out, please give them a heads up in advance that you're going to be listing them as the point of contact, whether it's on a program or a project or on a certain type of inquiry. Also, if you're really not going to check email at all, you're not planning to be online at all, write that down and tell people. I think it really can be helpful for managing expectations. And if you're in a place where you know you're going to have to look at email a certain time every day, or that you're going to check once a day, tell people what your plan is to manage expectations. I find that this can be really helpful just so that people have a sense of how quickly you may be getting back to them. I'm also a fan of in the event that I'm going to be offline, but I know that there may be some type of emergency that warrants my attention, just giving really clear instructions of if you want me to prioritize this, send me a new email with all caps in the subject line, like urgent, and then whatever it is that you need. So just make it really clear how people can actually get your attention if you're going to be out of office and when you're planning to check in. Another thing that I found is I've often, at different moments in my career, included that people can contact me by cell if it's absolutely an emergency. You can either include your cell or not include your cell in that. I found that people almost never have emergencies that warrant them reaching out to your cell phone. But if something like that would make you feel better because you're not planning to look at email and you know you may be needed, that could be another way to have a clear out of office. And bonus points always for your out of office, having anything fun and real and human in it. I think they can be a great outlet for creativity if you feel inspired. All right. Tip number 2, if you are trying to, actually, I won't say trying to, if you are taking a proper vacation, turn off your work email sync on your phone. As someone who has spent so many years constantly watching my inbox, this is a huge one for me. The very first thing I do when I go on vacation often is I turn off work email notifications on my phone. I actually no longer have work notifications on my phone or work email notifications on my phone because I turned it off for a vacation and I never turned it back on. I check my email a few times a day and that's when I check my email. But I found that just seeing the little like number on the screen, I find uh, my curiosity is often hard to contain. So, no notifications. And sometimes when I really know that I won't be able to help myself, which honestly has been more often than not since starting to run my own business, I delete my work email off of my phone entirely to add just like one more level of like a barrier between me and my inbox so that I can really truly unplug. And then I would say too that from a notifications perspective, this goes for other work related apps as well, like Slack, anything where people are likely to reach you with work questions or updates that you would prefer not to be reached with while you're out of office. All right, taking a real vacation and a proper rest, tip number 3. Hide your work laptop and close your tabs before you log off. So, if you are traveling somewhere, I know so many of us are like taking staycations or other forms of vacation these days, but if it's at all possible, hide your laptop somewhere, like put it in a closet, leave it at home. Like, if you have to bring it with you, then at least at the bare minimum, X out of literally everything before going on vacation. I feel like those tabs that you think you're going to come back to, you are going to hopefully completely forget about while you're out. If you must, send yourself an email with the link that you want to go back to. But I think I know for me, my tabs are often an indication of like how many things are open in my brain at a given time. And so if you're really truly trying to clear the deck and relax and create some mental space, closing out of those tabs. And again, if you can, physically removing your work laptop from your space, I think can go such a long way toward making you feel like you're actually truly logged off. All right. Tip number 4 is maybe my favorite, which is a tip that I picked up when I was working in consulting for the first time. Block your calendar. So, do your future self a favor. Block your calendar for at a minimum half a day upon your return. And honestly, I actually feel that what I have found most effective, and believe me, I don't always follow my own advice, but when I am truly following my own advice, what I find most effective is blocking the half day before I plan to log off. Sometimes I block a whole day before I plan to log off just to like get through the backlog of things to like truly feel complete before I disconnect. And then blocking off a full day, basically a full day for every week that I'm out on vacation to catch up on everything that's happened, to catch up on email, to get back to people, to ease my way back in. I feel like I have found for myself, and again, for so many of my clients, that having that buffer can really be the difference between like actually enjoying like those last hours, moments, maybe even days of vacation, knowing that you have some space between you and like fully being back in the swing of things and that feeling. And I've been there so many times of like literally checking your email and responding like on your flight home and feeling like by the time you get home, your vacation is already long gone. The fifth tip or recommendation is make your first week back to-do list before you log off for your vacation. So again, block some time in your calendar, like the week before you're going to go out. Ideally, like maybe this is something that you take care of in that half day chunk that you already are holding for yourself before logging off. But make a list of what it is that you know you need to focus on, like write it on a post it, write it, block time in your calendar, like however you like to keep track of this stuff. Make sure that like you get whatever is like in your brain that needs to get done when you get back. Take the time to get it out of your brain and get it on paper, so that when you log off, you can like really truly properly log off. So again, do this in whatever way or whatever place you typically make your to-do list. But taking literally just a few minutes to do it before you disconnect means that you don't have to like let things continue to kick around in your brain when you're relaxing on the beach with a pina colada. All right, last one is set your vacation intentions. This is something that I feel like has become increasingly important. I'm laughing because I'm like, I just like can't even tell you how much I found this can shift how much I'm able to get what I want out of a vacation. So, really taking the time to think about like, how do you want to feel during your time off? Like, what is the bucket list for this break that is going to make you feel like you've had a, for lack of a better word, successful vacation? What type of like activities or schedule or days is going to make your time off a success for you? Like, is this a time that you are really looking to like lay around and do nothing? Is this a time that you're looking to like binge shows and like have no structure to your day? Is this a time that you're really hoping to like get through some of the books on your reading list? Do you want to make sure that you spend time outside? Is this time to connect with your friends, connect with your partner, connect with your kids? Is it time to finally organize your closet and donate clothes, or learn how to bake a new thing, or finally go on the hike you've been wanting to check out, or all of the above? Taking the time to think through what your intention is, what's going to feel like you're getting the type of rest that you need, um, and what some of the things are that you've been dying to do during the day, maybe during the week, but that you have not been able to find time for. These are all ways that I found can really, really, really help make the most of your break. And I think this step in particular can help to the greatest extent possible. And I know that this is just a reality of life, but help to the greatest extent possible avoid that feeling of coming back from your vacation and feeling like you didn't get what you wanted out of the time off. So those are my 6 favorite tips, tricks, recommendations for actually taking a proper vacation. Um, if you've been following along for a while and you read the monthly meditation, you know that this is something that I've been really passionate about. I've been really admiring the people who are taking breaks from things this summer. I know just, again, so many of us have just been slogging through so much for so long. And actually, on that note, I love this podcast so much. And I know that me being able to bring my best and most full self to this podcast is going to be even more possible with a little break. So we are actually going to take a break from publishing new episodes in the month of August. We will be doing a whole lot of recording new episodes in the month of August. I have some interviews and conversations lined up with some totally amazing women changing the world. And I cannot wait to share them with you. The few that I've had so far already are like just the best. So, if you're looking for stuff to listen to on your vacation, please check out the archive. We've got over 30 episodes to date, conversations with leaders who are doing such amazing things. And keep your eyes peeled. In September, we will be back with a couple more solo episodes, followed by a whole lot more interviews with badass women. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already, please take a minute to rate and review the podcast. Those ratings and reviews are super helpful. And I am really excited and really looking forward to seeing you in September after taking a little break myself. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Women Changing the World podcast. Please rate and review the Women Changing the World podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts, and don't forget to subscribe for future episodes. You can find me on Instagram. My handle is liz.best, that's lis.best, or you can find me on LinkedIn by searching my name, Liz Best. Join my mail list by visiting elizabethbest.com/monthly-meditation, and you'll receive all the latest updates on events, retreats, and opportunities to work with me, plus a monthly love note from my heart to your inbox. I am so excited to keep in touch, and I'll see you in the next episode.